Welcome into another edition of Nets Pod with Sarah Kustok, presented by Ticketmaster. I'm Sarah Kustok, and I am extremely excited about this episode. Egor Dëmin. Egor, thanks for being here with us. A number 8 overall pick, of course, of the Brooklyn Nets this past draft, part of that historic draft class of 5 rookies in the first round. But first things first, how has your welcome to Brooklyn been?
It was amazing. I thought, I was super excited getting drafted here, and obviously didn't need to fly anywhere from the draft night. It was exciting. I was already at the arena, and it was great to see who Brooklyn picked up after me, and it was super exciting.
Before we get into that, because I want to dig into draft night with you, you have an incredible story. It's been a fun journey just watching you come into the NBA. You were born in Moscow, Russia. You ended up leaving when you were 15 years old to go to Real Madrid and play in Spain.
Yep, 15.
What was that like?
There was an amazing opportunity for me. I think that's the first thing. I was playing in Russia, kind of enjoying just the journey, right, of basketball, never thinking of something big like moving to other country alone, to pursue my kind of goals.
Yeah.
And then when the opportunity came, it's something like, okay, I have no choice at this point because I love basketball so much and I want to follow this path, right? And I thought it was an amazing opportunity for me to get to play overseas from Russia, right? And get to know this new level of basketball to get ready for something bigger.
You talk about something bigger, but take me back even earlier. You were from a basketball-oriented family. Mm-hmm. Your dad played professionally in Russia. Your mom played. Your older brother played?
Yes. All my family played basketball. As you said, my dad played professionally. He played in Russia, several teams. My mom played in high school, and they actually met in high school. They were playing they're the same year, so the same class.
Yeah.
So that's how they met, basically, right? And my brother also played basketball.
When do you feel like you first fell in love with? You talk about this passion and following this path, but when do you feel like you first fell in love with the game of basketball?
I think, it's actually kind of funny for me now thinking about it because I obviously get some stories from my parents all the time that I don't really remember now, right? And my mom would tell me, like, you never wanted to play basketball. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's, all our families in there. How am I not wanting to be the same, right? She's like, that's the reason. You just wanted to be different. And she said there was a story when I said, hey, I don't want to play with my hands. I want to use my legs. So I'm like, I'm going to go play soccer. Never touched the soccer ball. End up being in basketball anyway. Obviously because it was kind of a mantra of this family. So, and yeah, I mean, it became important for me very early, I believe, because I was all around my brother and his team, and his assistant coach eventually became a head coach of my team. So it kind of where it progresses a lot at that point of my life.
Can you beat your brother?
Now, definitely.
When were you able to first beat him? What was that like? What was that dynamic like?
We actually didn't play much one-on-one because he's 5 years older than me, and there was too big of a gap. But then when I actually became good to beat him, he stopped playing with me. He just didn't want it. He didn't want that smoke, so.
Fair enough. So take us, you're 15 years old, you go to Spain. Mm-hmm. You're by yourself. I assume this is the first time you're away from your family, live by yourself. What was the biggest adjustment with that and being a pro?
I think, first of all, the language. I kind of stepped into it with my eyes closed. Basically, like going to swim without knowing how to swim, right? I didn't know any English, any Spanish. And
so you only spoke Russian?
Only Russian, yeah.
Okay.
Only Russian. And obviously it was so stressful for my parents, definitely more than for me, right? And my mom was like, are you not nervous? Like, how are you going to speak with people? I'm like, well, figure it out. At this point, basketball language is all the same all over the world, right? So as long as I played basketball, I wasn't worrying about anything really else. And I was confident that I'm gonna figure out all the things outside of the court.
Did you do your own laundry? Did you know how to cook?
Well, I was lucky enough to be at the academy where it was all
Okay.
taken care of, and Real Madrid did a great job, and they keep doing it with their academy and raising kids and really just picking up some talents from all over the world and bringing their abilities right into the basketball life and making them even better by taking care of some things that would take the focus away from basketball.
What would you describe your game to be? We see your game now, we know the vision you have, the instincts, your passing ability, all that. Do you feel like that was what your game was always predicated on?
I always been dedicated to the idea of being efficient no matter what it takes for me. And I could tell I always been super unselfish about my own statistics, and at some point of my life it almost became a problem because I would be too polite and too unselfish, and sometimes it's not helping to win a game, right? Sometimes you need to be a little bit of a jerk and be more aggressive and be more selfish in a healthy way of this word, right? But I think that's who I am, and that's what was my advantage, right? Growing up in Russia, and that's thanks to my coach, my first coach, who actually gave me a lot of chances to make mistakes for those passes, right? And develop my vision, develop my kind of a basketball IQ, right? That kind of brings to the point where I am who I am right now, right? So.
And it got you to the NBA, but first, Brigham Young. You decided that you want to come to the States, go to college. What made you decide, one, that was the next step for you in this chapter, and two, because you were the first five-star recruit, correct, of that university?
Yeah.
So what made you decide that was the place and that was the step you wanted to take?
Well, so when we finished when I finished my last season in the academy of Real Madrid, I got a couple of options on the table. Obviously, the first one was to go back to Russia and play professionally. Another option was to stay in Real Madrid in the first team, in the professional team, right? They offered me, and but at this point you don't know, either I'm going to be in a team actually in rotation or I'm going to go to somewhere else, but they're going to have my rights and things like this. So there's a lot of details in European contracts. And the other option was obviously college, which for me, I'm like, okay, that's probably not an option.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. I couldn't imagine myself playing in college.
The basketball part or the school part?
I think both. I was so happy finishing school in Spain, and I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna study again. I'm never gonna study again, and I was super excited about it. They were asking me, do you want to go to university in Spain? I'm like, nope, I'm okay. I'm just gonna keep playing basketball, and enjoying my free time. But then, analyzing all the good and bad, I realized that college is probably the best thing for me right now for my development. And I wasn't trying to be focused on the final result as much as a process, right? And even though those other two options to play professionally are looking like, okay, I'm getting a professional contract, I'm becoming a grown man in basketball, right, terms. But college is like, okay, I gotta keep studying. Younger players, right? But that's what I thought was gonna help me the most, right? I didn't want to do too big of a jump, so then I regret and probably have to step back twice, right? So we decided that with my family that college is probably an option, but now there is a choice of where I'm gonna go, and that was a hard work, not just me, especially my parents, right? They were working even more than me understanding what is going to be the best place for me to go play, to go live, to go study. And yeah, we end up finalizing it on 3 schools, which were BYU, Illinois, and Arkansas.
Okay.
And yeah, the process was super long, and we end up on BYU.
And you fell in love with school and studying?
I honestly no. Listen, it's such a like impressive thing for myself. Like when I got to BYU, so obviously, you know, as I said, there was a lot of work on understanding where I'm going, right? And Coach Young was probably the main reason. Not probably, definitely was the main reason of why I went there. And then understanding that what type of school BYU is and how many smart people came out of there, such a business school they have, right? And all the opportunities they get because of the approach and culture inside of it. I just loved it so much. And, you know, their culture is, I think, really, really main thing of this place. I think it's very important for athletes to be focused on what they have to be focused on. With some additions that are helping them to develop in their lives, not just on the court, right? And I thought BYU is going to be the perfect place for me, where I have no distractions from outside, besides school, which also was super flexible for the athletes, right? Not just me, but everybody. And everybody just wanted me to succeed there, even more than I wanted it for myself, probably. Right, and for me, it was just important, even more important for my parents, that I was safe. And even if I wanted to go to party, it was hard to find any parties there. So I think that's a cool advantage of this school.
Nothing compares to catching your Brooklyn Nets live, and nobody knows that better than you. Nets fans, it all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Nets and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you could experience all the sights, sounds, and styles in person. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Nets tickets at Ticketmaster. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Nets.
And then your season, mock drafts start coming. The NBA, I'm sure, became more and more real in your mind. So let's fast forward to New York, to Barclays Center, to draft night. What was going through your mind, knowing that everything you had done, everything you'd worked for, like this dream that you had had, was finally starting to come in fruition?
Yeah, and it's such a special like thoughts for me. Like every time I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I get these like butterflies, you know what I mean? And even though it's already happened, right? But it's still like I'm remembering being a kid who's like, there's an NBA, but it's like it's there. It's no near here, and how do I even, like it was always in my mind, but it never been a goal, because it was an unreachable thing, really, especially playing in Russia. Obviously, coming to Spain, it kind of get me closer to it, and when I start seeing some attention from, you know, the NBA scouts or reporters, whatever it is, the media, I'm like, okay, that's not a dream anymore, it's a goal, right? And before that moment, it was only a dream. It was somewhere else, right? And not many people reach there from Russia, obviously compared to the American players. And for the guys in high schools here, it's like, okay, that's NBA, it's another step. For me, it was like, okay, if I reach there, it almost like, okay, my life is completed. Obviously, but then when I did complete it, it's like, okay, that's actually is another step, right? And now I need to set bigger goals and have bigger dreams and really understand why I'm here for.
Before you get there, when you feel those feelings and emotions, what stands out most about that day to you?
The draft night?
Yeah.
Just having my mom next to me. You know, I wish my dad was there too. He couldn't make it because of the documents, whatever, and my brother, but you know, and it was just meaning a lot to me having some people that are very important for me to be there with me, right? Because it was also their dream for me. And it was actually super emotional when I talked to my dad, and he was like, man, I was growing up in your age dreaming about the NBA and about draft night as a player. But then there's a time of his life where he had to kind of get away from those thoughts already, because he's like, well, I got to give it up pretty much, right? He's too old. He understands he can't really make it there anymore. And then he had to focus on raising his family, right? And making sure he's successful in life outside of basketball. And then at this point, he's like, that dream came back in just different shape of it. He's like, now I want to be on the draft night, but for my son, not for myself anymore. And I was like, that's pretty deep. Like that's, and I think that's important for me, you know, hearing from him that. And I wish he was there, because it was such a big deal for him. But he was watching live, and yeah, his emotions were so much deeper than mine, honestly. Yeah, and when I talked to him for the first time, it was really cool, really exciting.
You talk about next goals. What responsibility does that make you feel, or make you feel like you want to have for then what your career may potentially become?
You know, I don't like talking about like responsibilities, right? And, you know, somebody asks, is there pressure from your country, from your family, your friends? There is always a pressure, right? And there's always some expectations, but I feel like for me, it's very important to find the right approach for dealing with it, and really just be focused on myself in a way of like, okay, how I feel, right? Staying healthy mentally, giving everything I have to be ready to go on the court and be the best version of myself, right? And set my own goals. And if it takes time, it takes time, right? Some people obviously want it to happen like this. And do I want it? Of course. I want it to be tomorrow, right? But I also understand that it's not always perfect, right? And there's not perfect days. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high, and I just got to be ready to stay focused on this path and really, you know, follow these goals and dreams that I have.
Give us your perspective on hearing your name being called, drafted by the Brooklyn Nets, and being a part of this organization and this franchise.
That was huge, you know, and for me, it was a lot of players, as I hear it from the past, a lot of players often, they know where they go before they even get called, right? Mm-hmm. It was not my situation. I didn't know where I'm going to be at, and I did so many workouts. Well, not more than some of the guys. I've heard crazy stories with like 25 workouts pre-draft. I did 14, but because I didn't know where exactly my range is, right? And at this point, I'm like, well, whatever happens, you know, I'm going to try my best to be as good of a player and as good of a person I can be for that organization. And obviously, you know, hearing my name called to Brooklyn Nets was like, wow, like that's the place I actually wanted to be. And it's actually a crazy story. I have a crazy story about it, because I was on the workout with them. It was an early workout. It was my third workout, I think. I loved the organization so much on that one workout, and all the coaching stuff and front office. And I talked to some of the coaches, right? And I'm like, hey, I'm going to be back here. I'm like, you know, I loved it here, guys. Thank you so much. But, like, I'm going to be back here. You know, we're going to wait for that moment. I'm going to be back. And then I forgot about it, that I even said this. And I never said it to anybody else. It was just like whatever. Like I was just trying to express that, you know, I would love to be back here. And then after draft, it was RFK, the coach. And after the draft, I came, and the first time I see him, he's like, man, you told me you're going to be back here. And I'm like, oh, this is true. Like that's, and, you know, I don't like the word manifesting, but that's kind of what happened. You know, I really was trying to project myself being in a place where the place that is going to be good for me, right? And the place that I'm going to be good for, where I'm needed, where I need it, and the place that I need. And it happened. So I was more than just happy. That's for sure.
Can you manifest some things for me? I feel
Probably
like I
not.
like that word. Put it in the universe. Brooklyn itself, the community, the food, the place. What have you enjoyed most about Brooklyn itself as a borough?
I think everybody can tell that Brooklyn have such a like cultural energy and the strength of community, and how much is important just to know streets, right? To know outside and really to know your fans, to know people, to talk to them. And for me, it's a big deal for me. You know, I want to stay grounded, and for me, the way to stay grounded is just to go outside, talk to people, and you know, I can't even really just explain this feeling, but I treat myself the same as anybody else, right? And I say to my family, if you ever feel like I'm treating myself better than somebody, you gotta slap me or I don't know, do something with it, because that's like my biggest fear, right? To be out of the ground a little bit. So that's very important to me, and I think that's the perfect place to find new friends, find new restaurants, right? New places to go, and just go for a walk. And that's what I've been doing. What's
the favorite food?
I'm a big eater, so I can't really tell what's my one favorite food. But I've been in a lot of places. I've been in Italian restaurants, some Asian food, steakhouses. So I've been exploring.
Pizza?
Pizza, yes.
Do you have a favorite pizza spot yet?
So my first pizza place in Brooklyn was Locali.
Okay.
Locali's, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it's the Brooklyn Nets spot. So we've been there actually with the team for the first time. So it was amazing.
Well done. Have you explored the streets just by foot? You get out on bikes? Are we?
A little bit. I mean,
I
sometimes
have a
you
love.
need it.
Yegor, I just discovered city bikes last summer, and now I ride them everywhere. Do you follow the rules? Do you stay in the bike paths?
Oh, definitely.
You stop when there's a red light,
Yes.
even if there's no cars coming?
I don't want to get killed. That's why I gotta follow the rules. So, especially in New York, with all the love and respect to this place, it's pretty dangerous sometimes out there.
Has it been overwhelming to you at all?
Sometimes, just from the point of it never slips. Like the action and the motion never stops really, and a lot of sounds around. You know, especially coming from Utah last year from Provo, where there's a point where everything is shot. Right, there's no sounds, nothing is working. Sometimes it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, okay, that's peaceful. New York, it's never stops, which is, I mean, it's not good or bad. It's just New York.
We love it. It's hot, which brings us to Hot Ticket,
Yep.
presented by Ticketmaster. Experience your Nets live with Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Brooklyn Nets. So, Yegor, are you a big music person?
I would say so.
What are the top 5 songs right now in your rotation? Either top 5 most recent or top 5 most
I can tell
played.
you the recents. So I'm a really like mood music person. If it's like a thing at all.
Yes, yeah.
Like I really like to have. I have all genres. I don't stick to like rap only or like only R&B. I listen kind of to everything. And lately, I've been so heavy on country.
Wow, okay. I didn't anticipate that coming.
Utah put me on some country, right? And I was a beginner last year, but now I get deeper into it. So I'm like really excited about listening to country.
Tell the people the country songs, the top 5 country songs you want to listen to.
So one song I just found like 2 days ago, and I'm like, every time I'm listening to it, I'm amazed. It's something that just puts me into absolute, feeling of
euphoria,
I'm
happiness,
like,
joy.
yes. My English is not rich enough to explain that.
Yeah.
It's called "Sweet Symphony" by Joy Oladokun and Chris Stapleton. So I'm a big Chris Stapleton guy.
Okay.
I love him, And
You brought up the one type of music that I don't listen to at all, so now
Country?
I can't
Well,
contribute to any of your.
you
Maybe
see?
I'll learn from
You
you.
see?
You can turn me on to it, but yeah.
you see, so yeah, the Chris Stapleton is where you should start from.
Okay,
It's
okay.
it's like a beginner level for sure. It's like the most famous thing. Him and Morgan Wallen, that's for sure. But he's like a mood music. Like I love it so much, and I listen a lot of Daniel Caesar. I have some Giveon. I have some Noah Kahan. Have you heard of it? Also country.
No.
It's a little Kahan, yeah. It's a little bit sad country, you know. Not a little bit. It's really depressing sad country. And
Wait.
it doesn't mean I'm depressed.
No. At what moments? What are you listening to before a game? Would you listen to any of this chill music?
Yes.
To not get
Yes. Like
the
I'm
sad, even the sad stuff.
sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes I just need to like. Sometimes it's so overwhelming, so
That
I
you
need to
just
like
need
just
to
really
balance
like okay,
yourself. I
yeah.
like
How can I get like still, right?
Okay.
And yeah, some of those like country, it's something that you know. Sometimes country for me, it's like neutral. It's not too happy and not too sad. It's just good vibes, and good. It's clean music, right? It's I'm really religious too, so it's important for me to really listen to something that is clean and you know not anticipating anything like
Yes.
bad, right?
Yeah.
That I don't want to hear. So those are kind of my lists. Yeah, I mean I
Do you
listen.
line dance? Would you like?
If I dance,
Go, yeah. Can you dance?
I can't. That's definitely something that I would never do in my life professionally because I'm not. I'm untalented in it.
Okay.
But
okay.
you know, dance. I also believe dance is like it's another form of art. You can dance however you want.
to.
Exactly, and sometimes it helps. I believe that it helps your mood, like your mental state, really. Like I really find it helpful to wake up in the morning. Like it's pretty embarrassing talking about this right now, and you know people
please.
gonna think I'm dancing in front of the mirror in the morning. Which I do, but never thought I'm gonna talk about that. But
I think it's a wonderful thing. I actually do that.
yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's something that sometimes you just need to laugh at yourself.
Laugh, dance,
And
sing. Can you sing?
I cannot at all, and sometimes I do, and I'm just laughing at it, and that's what brings even better mood to me. And I mean, that's how I'm trying to start my day, really, just from laughing things out, right? And then the day is better.
Egor, I'm gonna abide to all these things. I'm gonna manifest it to
Yes.
bring the things you want, to sing, to dance, to
Exactly.
do all the good stuff.
Exactly.
I appreciate you so much, your time, your journey, your story, and we're thrilled to have you here in Brooklyn and for many more to come. We may bring you back on the episode at some point and have
Yep,
you
I would be
sing
more
or
than happy.
dance or do some other things. That's been another episode of Nets Pod with Sarah Kustok. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. Also, make sure to check out Nets Pod with Sarah Kustok on the Nets YouTube channel. Until next time, we'll see you then.